guys. Good evening, everybody. Happy Monday to you all. I hope everybody is having a good start to the Monday so far. Uh, Let me turn down my music volume just a bit here. Alrighty, alright, guys. So as I've been advertising, for the past few weeks or so, today is a special edition of Chillin Out. So we are going to be talking, the imposter syndrome. What's good, my bro? Thank you for the lurk. Um, so we're gonna be talking. Excuse me. We're gonna be talking. Imposter syndrome. You know, kind of like an open forum mental health thing. So if people just want to chime in with their thoughts on it, talk about just kind of give people the floor, to kind of talk about, maybe their their issue, their stories, dealing with imposter syndrome, you know, dealing with the mental, dealing with mental health and stuff. So this is kind of sort of going to be more of a informative kind of a stream rather than an actual kind of thing. So basically how this is going to work. So each of us, including myself, we're gonna kind of sort of just share our stories, dealing with imposter syndrome, what it is, how to deal with it. Maybe this is kind of like a way to maybe inspire other streamers and people that are dealing with it. Just kind of give them like an open space. Maybe inspire them a little, and everything, and that it's okay. Streaming itself is hard work. And it can both in real life and streaming, it could take a toll on you, myself included. And despite all the positivity and everything that I share and everything, deep down, I mean, inside me myself, I struggle with my mental health, as some of y'all may know, especially the fact, me being autistic. I mean, it's tenfold, you know. But despite me being the uplifting hype man, positive person, I myself am vulnerable to this, and and I feel, and also I feel, that mental health is something that needs to be brought more aware, to be brought more aware, to the public, even outside of streaming, because like your mental health is very important. There are people out there that are yeah. Hey, what's good? Happy Monday to you. Yeah, there are a lot of people, out there that are suffering, and I kind of want to do this as a way for them to know that they don't have to be silent about it. Let's talk about it. It's okay. Everything that you're feeling and everything is valid, and I want to like kind of sort of encourage you guys. Talk. Let's talk. Let's bring more awareness. Let's be more understanding of it and let's be more understanding of this and everything. I feel if we're more open, that if we feel more open about it, I feel, and that if we bring more awareness, I think a lot of more people will be understanding about what we go through. So this would be like I said, this is an open forum kind of thing. So if you guys want to join in my Discord voice chat, you can type in exclamation mark Discord, which I'm gonna type that in the chat here. Type in exclamation mark Discord. If you guys want to chime in on the discussion and everything by voice. Again, you don't have to join. I don't want to I don't want to like pressure you to join or anything. But also, I think I'm off center a little bit. Let me fix that real quick. I'm a bit off center here. There we go. All right, there we go. A little better. So if you don't want to, I don't want to like the pressure. I don't want to feel like I'm pressuring you to hop in the VC or anything. If you feel more comfortable talking about it in the chat as well, that is perfectly fine. So yeah, guys. Wheel, I think I saw you in the Discord just now. Okay, you're in the waiting room. All right, Wheel, I will pull you in just a. There we go. I'll pull you in just a second here. So first and foremost, I want to talk to you guys. You know, what is imposter syndrome? I have my notes here to my left here that I came up with while doing some research on this. So, what is imposter syndrome? So, to put this simply, it's a belief that you believe that you're not as good as others make you out to be. In other words, you kind of sort of in deep inside you feel like a fraud, like a fraud kind of in a way. It's like deep down. So it's something whenever when you get a lot of support for your community, reaching a milestone and that kind of thing, getting like a really good raid. I mean, it should be a good feeling, that like that. But deep down inside, you really don't believe that you deserve it, that you deserve all this praise, that you deserve everything that is coming with you don't deserve the sponsorships opportunities, you don't deserve all this love or everything, and this can weigh a lot on your mental health, and it can lead to you feeling how like forms of you feel like depression, and it can enhance a social anxiety, and and as someone who's streaming and is and me being autistic, I mean this is something I feel literally every day, and even to this day I feel, even to this day, if I'm being real with you guys, I feel like some of the accolades that I've gotten in my 2 years of streaming, for the most part, I feel like I don't deserve it. If I'm being honest, I know, and I put in the work. I try to put in the work and everything, as much as I can, and everything. But there are times where I don't feel like I don't deserve. And another thing that can cause is with imposter syndrome is that it can make you feel like you don't belong with a certain clique, or like you're a certain group of friends or stuff like that. And this is something that I go through, and all you don't know this, and I haven't said it publicly, but every time when I'm off stream, this is literally all that goes through in my head, is that even though people welcome me in their group with open arm and everything, I feel like I honestly feel like I don't belong there, and that's the imposter syndrome. That's my imposter syndrome kind of sort of kicking in. It's a very uncomfortable feeling, but sorry guys. I guess whenever I try to talk with some and everything, that's why I keep my conversations that's why I kind of keep my conversations in small talk for the most part, or I don't hold a conversation, because I'm gonna be honest with you, I being around people, I have social anxiety. I really do have social anxiety, so like a lot of times when they're having a conversation, my brain just kind of sort of shuts down, and like, okay, what do I say? I don't want to say anything that'll like make people think I'm awkward, or something that will like unintentionally ruin a friendship or something like that. So which is why you know, when I'm in people's streams and everything, for the most part, I lurk, and in half of that is because I'm busy, and the other half really is because it's my social anxiety kicking in, and I've been and I kind of and when I was researching this imposter syndrome, it like when I researched this imposter syndrome, when I research it, the more I read about it, the more it makes sense. The more I feel this, you know what I'm saying? Um, and you know, it's a very like I said before, it's a very uncomfortable feeling. You know, it's like it's like whenever something doesn't go your way, you feel really down about yourself. You know, you feel like what could I have done? What could I do to make things better? And even once you accomplish something, it's like no, it's like you still feel like you don't feel like it's not enough. You just want to do more. You want to you want to do more. You want to be more of like a perfectionist, you know, or something like that. You know, it's like a never ending cycle. Uh, so and I'm gonna be honest, it sucks. It's a very crappy feeling, but um so that's why, you know, there are times where like whenever like and sometimes it's and the temptation is there, you know, to compare yourself to other people who are doing a lot better than you are. I mean, the temptation is there. It's I mean, I've been there. I still feel it to this day, you know. It's there. So, but you know, there are ways to kind of sort of combat it. There are ways to, you know, kind of sort of, you know, deal with it and everything. Let me catch up with the chat here. You definitely belong. Thank you, Will. Thank you. Hey, Boric, what's up, man? I try to limit my interactions because I have social anxieties. Will says she has bad social anxiety. I definitely understand. Yo, Jolly Bunny, thank you for the host. I hope you are feeling a lot better, my friend, and thank you for the lurk. I hope your Monday is going well for you. Um, Sorry. Uh, you know, there are ways, you know, sort of, you know, just to combat it, you know, and everything, and how to deal with it. Uh, so I'm gonna go ahead and bring Weo in the chat here. I believe she's been waiting in the waiting room for a while. So I will go ahead and drag you in, Weo. So you know, anything you want to add or anything you want to bring in about your and everything. But I would say this. One way I would say to combat it, you know, imposter syndrome, you know, is just simply, you know, look in the mirror, look at yourself, you know, look at what you've done, analyze, you know, what you've put in, all the work you put in and everything, and you know, just I you know, just you know, kind of feel it, you know, it kind of helps you feel good about you know, but that can help. Another thing you could do, you know, another thing that you could do, you know, realize that you're we're flawed. We're not perfect. I mean, no human being on the we're all human in the end. Nobody in the world is perfect. You know what I'm saying? So you know, realize that you're gonna have some flaws. You know. Another thing I'll say. Another thing I like to add. You know, talk with a friend. You know, talk to a friend. You know, tell them how you're. You know, tell them you know how you feel inside. You know, tell them like you know what you're thinking, what you're going through, and everything. You know, talking with the friend, talking with someone. Uh, you know, can help out a lot. You know, can you know talking with someone can make can make your day. You know, and everything. Wabi sabi, nothing is perfect. Boric, exactly, my friend. Uh, and one last thing I will add. is I'm trying to figure out how I want to say it. It's okay to not be okay. I guess is the way I wanna phrase this. I mean, we are going to have we are going to have our off days, and there are some days where you're just not there. It's valid, it's perfectly fine. You know. Uh, okay, so I said I had one more. I had one other thing I want to bring up as far as like dealing with imposters and everything. Don't let people guilt trip. Don't let people guilt trip you into thinking that you're crazy, you're looking for attention or that kind of thing. Because people dealing with with imposters, with stuff like and everything. They need they just want to feel validated and everything. And I guess that's I don't know how I want to put it, but you know they just want to they just feel like they belong. They feel like despite all this they belong in this space. And the truth of the matter is they do. You guys do belong. I mean, you guys are, and we are human. And for the people that tell you, okay, you're taking this a little seriously, you're just doing it for attention and all that. To be honest with you, that probably tells you there's something wrong with them, rather than what's wrong with, rather than what they think. It has to be emphasized. They think is wrong with you. You know what I'm saying? So some like one of my mods who was your Jelly Bunny would say, just forget the haters. Just let them talk, and just do you. So and realize that you belong in this space, that you belong in this earth. If people invite you to, if people, for the fact that people they invite you into their circle, that in itself is something special. Is that they see something in you that maybe you don't see in yourself. And being in a circle, like being in like social circles like that, can help relieve some of your can help release your anxiety and make you help maybe even realize something special about yourself that you didn't know you had deep down inside. And so this is one of the things I love about streaming, is that we are able to openly express ourselves for who we really are in the real world. So, but with that said, I am going to go ahead and open up the forum here. And Weo, I'm going to go ahead and bring you into the waiting room. So let us go on and drag you in here. Why can't I do that? I don't want to. All right, here we go. Weo, if I cannot, you are deafened right now. So if you want to undeafen yourself, if you could, please. Mic check. 1 2 1 2. Weo, can you hear me?
I don't think deafened.
Oh, there we go. There we go. I think I can hear you perfectly. Can you hear me?
My bad.
No worries. It's all good, Miss Wheel. How you doing today?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. Monday was a pretty busy day, but at work and everything, but everything is all good. So, at this point, Wheel, the floor is yours. So, do you want to if you want to go ahead and share your story, your thoughts on the imposter syndrome and everything, the floor is yours.
Okay. Well, hello everyone. Uh, my name is Weo. That's not my real name, but you guys get the picture. So yeah. So today, Iceman Prime asked for volunteers to come and talk about mental health awareness and to talk about imposter syndrome. Um, you know, I am practically very well versed in imposter syndrome. I struggle with it literally all the time. Um, I just want to read to you guys the Webster's definition of what imposter syndrome is. It's basically an internal experience of believing that you are not as competent as others perceive you to be. While this definition is usually narrowly applied to intelligence and achievement, it has links to perfectionism and social context. So basically, what it comes down to is a lot of times you just don't feel like you belong. You feel like you're a fraud. You feel like the only way that you are where you are in life is because you were lucky. And it doesn't matter who you are as a person, it can affect anybody. Um, it doesn't matter your race, your gender. It doesn't matter even how much money you have or not. Poor people, rich people, all the time. So, people hurting themselves is a problem because of this issue of how they just don't have confidence in themselves. I would say a lot of mine uh, came really, I think, from family upbringing. Um, let's see. So, I don't know about you, Iceman, but I do know that for me, I grew up in a house that was like we went to church all the time, man. And this is not to,
Right.
bang on anyone that goes to church or anything, but when I say I lived in church, I lived in church.
Yeah.
Like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And if anyone knows anything about Southern Baptist Church, it's all about being there on time, dressed properly, and every family. I'm sorry, that's my alarm clock. Every family is trying to, I don't know, be the peacock family. Be the upstanding view of what a family should look like when they go to church. And I have said, even as a child, that I felt like it was a very toxic environment because most often people use um, religion, and this isn't all of them. This is just my perspective. I just want to make that clear. That from my perspective, a lot of people use religion as a means to cover things up and not necessarily address the natural issue.
Oh, totally.
So, when you have children that are struggling, you tell them that they're going to go to hell because they're sinning, and then you're telling them they need to repent, and you're using fear tactics of all these things on top of and then in the same breath, they're praising you. So it's like you don't know when you're actually doing a good job and when you're actually doing a bad job, because to be quite honest, it flips on its head every 2 seconds,
Right.
like all the time. And I feel like for me, it was even more so of a problem because I was also the daughter of the assistant pastor, not the pastor. So I felt like that was even more pressure.
Mm.
And the reason being is because at all times, people are comparing the assistant pastor to the pastor.
Right.
Like, oh man, he's just good enough, but not good enough. And I, I was always thrust into the spotlight to try and be more than what I really wanted to be. Not to say that I wasn't like I didn't have dreams. I absolutely had dreams.
Right.
My dreams didn't consist of always being in the choir and singing soprano. Like as much as I enjoyed singing, it was a chore for me because it was always, can you sing better than the pastor's daughter? And I'm like, I don't really care if I sing better than the pastor's daughter. But you know what? That pressure was on me as a child. So to this day, I am very about perfectionism. And I don't think a lot of people understand why, at least for me, why I struggle with it so much. Because it, if you just take me as an adult and you leave out that childhood where I had to be perfect at all times, then you miss out a lot on why, as an adult, I try to be perfect when I'm at work and when I see small mistakes and I freak out and stuff like that. And a lot of times, I think, my coworkers and stuff, they just think I'm like this angry black woman and stuff, and I'm not really. I really want to just see the best in people, but I have to actively. And when I say actively, Iceman, I mean I'm like having this conversation where I walk out of the room and I'm like, you know what? Uh, I need to meet this person where they're at. I can't sit here and tell them you're not doing good enough. I mean, maybe this is their best. And how mean is that to make them feel the same way that I felt the whole time growing up, where someone's always telling me I'm not good enough, I'm not good enough, I'm not good enough, and putting in other people. And I did let you read an article that was written on me and stuff,
Right.
and how um, a lot of my stress comes sometimes too from divorce, and I believe that a lot of that played into it. And I'm not saying that everything in my marriage was my fault. Not saying that at all. But I do know that a lot of it probably paid very harshly on a black man, where I'm expecting him to be a certain level and he's
Mm-hmm.
not. And nothing to be a fault of his own. He is his own separate human being with his own way of wanting to live life and his
Yeah.
own way of wanting to be a leader and all that stuff. And me pushing him trying to be something that he wasn't was a very toxic environment for him. So, um, now, if you had asked me to say this when I was going through the divorce, I would never have said this. This took growing and therapy and all that stuff to come through and really come to realization that a lot of my issues with imposter syndrome, kind of just reflects out on other people around me and stuff like that. Yeah, so my sister's actually in chat, and I'm seeing where she says she hates singing in front of everyone. She's
Oh,
right.
that's your sis. Oh, okay.
Yes, Brutal Butterfly is my twin sister, and that was another burden. Being twins and being competitive against each other all the time. It was absolutely an unnecessary burden put on us at all times, and I can totally understand her not wanting to sing in front of people because that was literally our whole life.
Yeah. I told I honestly, yeah, I totally get it. I mean, coming from the like I my upbringing was pretty much church related. Was well, very heavily church. My fam, being very authoritative and everything, especially if you guys know about Nigerian parents, they're very they're very prideful about you know their children and their accomplishments. They want them to be a doc, be this or be this, and if you're not what one of these, they basically kind of sort of they look down on you and like that. So I totally get where both of y'all are coming from, and I totally relate to you guys. Uh, but sorry. Go ahead and continue.
Oh yeah, no, of course. I wanted to. Excuse me, I'm so sorry. I
Oh,
wanted to
no
pause and
worries.
let you get in there and everything. Um, yeah. So and then I grow up living that life where I'm expected to be perfect all the time. And if if you are someone who knows me and stuff, you'll know a lot of times I fight with it. Like, I mean, I know I can perform at a perfect machine oiled way, but I'll sit there and fight it because I'm like, I'm tired of being perfect. I'm tired of being the one that people can count on. I'm tired of being the one that picks up the pieces because everyone else drops them. I'm tired. You know, sometimes why don't you tell this other person to pick up the pieces, all that stuff, and um, but that's just how the cookie crumbles. Sometimes you just have to push through it. Those are the opposites of it. Like, yeah, I can be perfect, but then I'm gonna sit there and fight it sometimes because I don't want to be perfect. I want someone else to be perfect and stuff. Um, so from childhood being made to be perfect, and not go into the military, and I don't know if anyone has served in the military, but oh man, there is a lot of perfectionism there, which wasn't hard for me to excel at because I mean, it's easy. Where you show up, you shine your boots, and you tie your shoes the correct way, you iron your uniform, and like easy. So I took the trash out. Like, that was one of my first jobs. Like, take the trash out. And I'm like, what's so hard about taking the trash out? But it's crazy. It's a test taking the trash out. Can you take the trash out, put the trash bag back in the trash bin, and can you clean up the area and make it look spick and span? Like,
Oh wow.
starting from that low of a level to just see your integrity as a person. So,
Wow.
and then you climb up through the ladders and you're given more and more responsibilities from writing papers and then personally what I did was I was a radar operator, and so I went from working in an office to finally starting to do the stuff that I was trained to do, which is working on radars. And my job was to find the enemy and let everyone know where the enemy was at, so we can protect ourselves and protect our allies and everything. Um, and imposter syndrome can definitely show up in the military with a lot of people, and the reason being is because in a job that requires you to perform at such a high level, um, like you really have to just be perfect at all times. It can show up based off of how um, we are promoted. Um, some people, well, not some people. So for the Navy specifically, I can't speak to the other services, but we have to take a test. And say you're not good at test taking. Like, I joined the Navy because I was tired of school. I was tired of going to school and doing the homework and taking exams, blah, blah. I'm like, I'm gonna join the Navy. I don't have to do all that. Wrong. I was wrong. I was wrong. I had to take a test to get promoted. So I'm not good at test taking. I get so anxious. And
Oh
it's
man.
crazy because the first time I saw this test, it's got like 200 questions. And these
200. Wow.
200 questions asking me questions about my job, everything. Like, how do you operate this radar? And like just every little nitpicky thing. And I'm like, first of all, this is BS. No one would be able to answer any of these questions all the way through. But really, it's just you answer to the best of your ability. So it sucks, right? Because if you don't pass it, then you
Oh,
have to
excuse me.
do an evaluation, and they're going to sit down with you and ask you, okay, well, why didn't you pass it? And you're like, well, it's not necessarily a big deal, but for them, yeah, no, they want to know why you didn't pass that test. Sit down, they do an evaluation, they might do some training and everything, but it's just so much pressure for you to even just promote in the military. And it makes sense, right? Because you want high performers so they can do
Mm-hmm.
their job, and you don't want people just walking around in the military without actually doing their job. So there's always pressure on you in the military to perform well. And our evals also kind of like compare us to each other. um it'll be like, oh, okay, well, Weo she's over here, she's got 5 different jobs on this ship she can do. However, Walter over here has 7 different jobs that they do. So technically, Walter is better than Weo because Walter is doing 7 jobs, Weo's only doing 5. And it's like, well, wait a minute, hold on. No, I didn't know there was like I had to have a certain number. Like, what's the criteria? How do you measure this? So, um, as you get
Wow.
higher up in the ranks, is when you start to see how the higher ups, yeah, really promote people. But when you're first entering in the military, it's really hard to see how they really compare us and stuff. And I honestly hate using the word compare.
Mm-hmm.
I hate it so much because I don't like to compare people to each other. But
Right.
that's
Total.
honestly exactly what it is. They compare us side by side, you know, and they're like, who's the best and who's not. And I struggle with my evaluations sometimes too. Like with my evaluations, I'm like, oh, you want to grab that? There's a raid coming in.
Oh, hey, Mr. Bubbles, thank you for the raid. Everyone coming in from Mr. Bubbles stream, welcome. Welcome to my talk show, Chillin' Out. My name is Iceman Prime. I am primarily a JRPG streamer, but I also do community streams and in real life streams like we're doing today. So, Mr. Bubbles, again, thank you for trusting me with your community. So today we are doing a special on imposter syndrome. With this being, excuse me, this being mental mental health awareness month, and imposter syndrome is something that a lot of people and everybody pretty much deals with. So I'm doing a little open forum. So if anybody wants to join in, if anybody wants to voice, like, come in, voice, and in the open forum, share, either share their story, voice their opinion. They can join my Discord. If Silverette, you can type in exclamation mark Discord in my chat if you guys want to join in by with a voice chat. You will be muted, as just so one person can talk at a time. But if you don't, and again, you don't have to join the voice chat. If you rather just type it in the chat, that is perfectly fine. Don't feel pressured if you're whether you're in the voice chat or not. And with that said, thank you for the follow. Oh, thank you, Wheel, for typing in the command. And to our newest follower, thank you for the follow. You are now a citizen of the Ice Cave. Uh, and Wheel, thank you for bringing the attention to with the raid.
Absolutely, absolutely.
But yeah, but go ahead and continue.
Yeah. So there is definitely a high probability of having that anxiety and that imposter syndrome in the military based off of just the comparison factor between you and everyone else that's going up for that same promotion and stuff like that. Like even last night, I was putting in a package to be promoted to one of my biggest promotions yet. Um, and I was up until like 1 o'clock in the morning, freaking out. Like, you know what? I don't think I'm good enough. Like, you should see my package, Iceman. It's when you look at it, it's actually really good. It's actually something where a lot of times people read my package and they're like, wow, you've been so many places, you've done so many things, you have such high marks and blah blah blah. And I'm like, yeah, but if they don't choose me, that means I'm not good enough. Like that's literally the
Mm-hmm.
answer that I give people. Like if they don't choose me, then I'm not good enough. So it doesn't matter if I've been all over the world. It doesn't matter if I have near perfect marks on my evals. If they don't choose me for this promotion, then
Yeah.
that means I'm not good enough. And it's such a hard thing sometimes to swallow when you're in the military. Like, oh man, how do you juggle all this? And so, with all that being said, I wanted to definitely put out some ways that I have learned to really cope with it, right? Because there's something that we always don't really highlight is how do we go about coping with it and everything. Um, My number one biggest thing that I've been doing in the last year is share your feelings, right? And when I say share your feelings, I mean I've been going to therapy for at least the last year. Um, the first form of therapy I was going to, I was using BetterHelp.com. It's an online therapy website, and they actually have an app, and it was phenomenal. My sister can tell you that we both used it actually, and you know, uh, you can actually send text messages to your therapist like all day. I'd be sitting at work mad over something that happened, and I'd be texting my therapist like, "Oh, these people are getting on my nerves," and then she'd be texting me back. It was great, and also once a week we would actually have a video session. It would last for an hour. So then we talk face to face on video conference and talk about my stresses for the week. And also before we end with the stresses for the week, then we would end with, okay, this is your homework, this is your coping mechanism, and this is what I want you to do to try and come back and re-center yourself. um, the thing about therapy is that it doesn't work if you're not trying to find a way to get better. Um, Therapy did not work for me the first time I went, like right after a divorce, because I wasn't looking for a way to get better. I was looking for a way to fight back. And when I say fight back, I mean like actually lost custody of my child due to my military service. They're like, you're in the military, no
Oh
way you can
man.
be a full-time parent. And I was angry with the world for thinking that I couldn't handle my responsibility as a parent. And I
Oh
was
man.
angry with my ex for taking my daughter halfway across the country and blah, blah, blah. But, I would have to say, looking back on it, it really helped my daughter because my daughter is autistic. And, autistic children, they need a set schedule
Right.
and it can't be messed up. And
Oh,
that schedule, when
totally.
it's messed up, it really impedes them from learning the material that they need to learn to be competent and independent adults. And I'm not saying that I wouldn't have been able to do it, but it wasn't about can I do it. It was more about uh, can my daughter handle, jumping back and forth and everything while I'm trying to do my job. And I would say it's better that she focused on being the best she could be with her father. And I'm still here. I'm still supporting her. I still love her and everything like that. So therapy definitely didn't help when I first went through my divorce. But now that I'm like, you know what, there's got to be something going on inside of me, the reason why these things are working. Because on top of just my social anxiety, there's also the issue where, I have issues with relationships. And I think that's something that some people would have a hard time admitting, that these social anxieties, this imposter syndrome, like you can put every kind of words on it, but this problem, this overall encompassing problem, ends up making me have problems with relationships as well. So I really wanted to get to the root of the problem this year. And I believe I did. I have actually, so now instead of just using betterhelp.com, I actually go to a like therapist. I sit down in an office with this therapist and I talk. And when I say I talk, I mean I just I I honestly cuss a lot. I'm a sailor. I don't know if you guys know this or not. Sailors cuss. I've been doing a good job on this
Like what
podcast.
you doing now? What you like you doing now here in the chat in the stream and everything? Sorry, I didn't mean to
Yeah.
interrupt, but
No, you're fine. Yeah, no, I'm really bad at it. But like, yeah, I'll be sitting in that room cussing left and right and just like, I gotta get all this out. And then, the therapist was like, all right, so how are we coping? And I'm like, ugh, all right. This is the part where I gotta be an adult and I gotta find a way to fix my problems. So sharing your feelings is one of them, with a therapist and also with people close to me, right? So I have like my sister, Brutal Butterfly, Mr. Bubbles. Actually, we text every once in a while, check up on each other, make sure we're doing well. So I'm very
ah,
thankful for Mr. Bubbles having my back in that sense, to where I can text him real quick and be like, yo, I'm having a moment. And he's like, okay, talk to me, sis. And it's like, cool. So we talk and we get that out the way. And I also have other friends, here that I'm able to talk to. One of them I actually regularly go out with on Friday. It's like, hey, we're going out on Friday and we drive out of town. We go have fun. We get away from all the stress of work and everything. And then Saturday we come back and we're like, all right, let's go. Let's do this. Let's get back to work and get the job done. And sometimes you need that friend that does that, because I actually happen to be a very adventurous and nomadic person. I don't like to sit in one area. And I'm thankful having that friend that's down with jumping in my car, driving 2 hours away, staying the night, and then coming back. Like, that helps me so much, and it's helped me so much in the last year being able to do that. Um, I'm looking at
Oh
my
yeah,
sister. She's
totally.
trolling me. She says she
She
tries
tries to
to
block
block
your
my
messages. I'm looking at the
messages.
chat. Oh man.
My
Mr.
sister
Bump.
is such a troll.
Hey, ain't nothing wrong with a little friendly trolling. I do that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, even me, some of my in real life friends, even my mods here, that have to troll with me a lot too. But it's friendly trolling, and I mean, this is just me personally. If you aren't trolling the streamer, or if you aren't trolling your friends, I mean, are you friends? I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
Yeah, true. That I agree. Like, for a while, when I was really when I was in the red, I mean, like, um when I was in the red and just, I don't know how to really explain it. I would never hurt myself because I am a mother, but I would say I was in a very deep, dark place. And it was really hard for me to accept my friends trolling me at one point. I couldn't handle
Oh
it.
man.
Everything, I took it so personally. And I would go home and cry and cry and cry over just the littlest joke. But that's how I know I'm doing way better now than what I was over a year ago, because I'm back to, like, laughing, laughing at the dumb jokes my sister sends me in text messages. Because there was a point even my sister couldn't say something without me breaking out in tears, even.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not her fault. It's just, when you're in that very, very low point, sometimes just, paper falling on your foot can make you cry.
Can make you
So
cry. Mm-hmm.
yeah, it was rough, but I definitely think my number one thing is sharing with people. And the reason I share is because there's such a stigma. There's such a stigma with
Mm-hmm.
being open about where you are in life, as far as like, hey, how are you doing today mentally? And it's like, man, I'm not doing so well. And, like, really having that conversation. And another thing that people have to look at, besides just asking people how they're doing, before you start unloading, like, and when I mean unloading, I mean, like, before you start going in unloading a person, are they open to receive? Because what I found is that a lot of times I'm sitting there listening to people's problems, and in my head I'm like, I don't care. But it doesn't mean I don't care because I don't want to help them. It's because I have outpoured myself so much, and sometimes it just felt like I didn't have anyone there to listen to me. So before I start outpouring, like, I think I've even asked Bubbles this, like, hey, Bubbles, do you have a minute to listen to my problem? Because I need someone to talk to. If you don't, that's fine. And it's not because I don't believe in his ability to do so, but he has to be in a mental state too to listen to
Exactly.
whatever shenanigans that's about to come out of my mouth.
Right.
So yeah, like, it goes both ways, sharing your feelings and stuff. Another way coping has helped me. So I want to say that streaming has been another coping thing. I specifically wanted to point that out because I started streaming because I wanted to combat my anxiety. And I know that a lot of people, I wanted to bring it back around to streaming. I know a lot of people start streaming because they want to find a way to reach out and talk to somebody. Um, and it's not really just like, hey, I want to be a partnered streamer making $1,500 a month for no reason. Like, I'm pretty sure they would love that perk too, but really it's people during the last couple of years of COVID-19 were locked inside their houses and couldn't freaking connect with each other. And it was like, how can we connect? How can we find a way to talk to people and our friends and everything? And that's where streaming hit the boom. It was like, stream. I could put my face on a TV somewhere and start talking to people, and they'll talk back to me, and the focus is me. And you know what? That makes you feel pretty dang good. I didn't cuss y'all. You see that? I said dang. But that makes you feel good. And I will never in my life judge anyone for the number of people watching their stream. Like, I have so many people over here on the left side right now. I'm looking at one. But you know what? I know all these people. I love all of them equally. And I will sit there and pop in their stream and have the same conversation that I'm having with you. Sometimes I have like 5 streams up talking to the streamers, because you have absolutely no idea how much that little bit of a conversation is going to help that person while they're playing video games. And that's the biggest deal to me when it comes to streaming, is those interactions. It's not only people coming to my channel and watching and talking to me, but it's going to other people's channels. I love it. Like, you talking about mental health, I'm there. I'm not even streaming. I'm just here with you and supporting you and helping you with your content. And Mr. Bubbles, whenever he turns his stream on, I make sure to go in there and say X-rated stuff to make him laugh, because he never knows what's gonna come out of my mouth. I just kind of just say things and throw him for a loop. And my sister just now started streaming. I'm so excited for her. It's so cool that she's finally getting ready to stream in her life. And hopefully soon you guys can see the twins streaming together. I would love that. And then you, Iceman, like, we haven't even collabed yet. And no biggie, I'm not judging you at all, the fact that we haven't collabed. We just haven't. I mean, right. I know it's coming down the line, but we just haven't. But yeah.
Oh, definitely. We have to set up a collab one of these days. It's just my schedule is so filled with, doing this, collabs with other, and so it's that it's kind of hard to find find that time to fit everybody in. I want to collab. I would love to collab with everybody, but between working full time, my own mental health, stuff outside of streaming in real life, it's kind of hard to find that balance, But okay, but I'm going a little off topic there. But yeah, Will, I totally understand where you're coming from and everything. I could say, my experiences, I would also far as to say, are similar to yours, honestly, if not identical to yours. So I definitely, I can kind of see, where we kind of feel each other, I feel you, I feel, everything that you're going through, and you kind of understand me as well. So I'm glad, I'm glad that we've met, and, Mr. Bubbles introduced me to you and your community and your people and your sister who's in the chat. And I'm grateful to have met you, Mr. Bubbles. I'm grateful to have met everybody. So, mad love to all of you guys. And again, Will, thank you for coming in and sharing your story and everything. I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Let me catch up with the chat here real quick. Oh, by the way, was that it? By the way, did you have anything else you wanted to add?
Oh no, yeah, that's fine. That's it.
Oh, okay. Well, Will, appreciate your story. Appreciate sharing yourself with us, the audience, and everything. And yeah, guys. So let me catch up with the chat here. Wheel keeps me on my toes tonight included. Brita Butterfly, you're gonna start streaming too? Ooh, only on weekends, and for now, I juggle with work, school, and Twitch. I totally feel that. Also, Brita Butterfly, I dropped you a follow right back. I can't wait to check out your content. Iceman, you always collaborate with so many people. I have no idea how you keep up with it. Honestly, I don't know how I do it either, man. I don't know how I do it, man. It just everything just seems to work out for me. Just seems to work out. So I just I just kind of just let it flow naturally and just kind of go from there. Uh, I love that y'all have done this together. Love seeing my community become a part of yours. Hello, Dark Bond. How you doing, my friend? Welcome to the stream. Um, yeah. I hope you're having a good Monday. Weo, love you so much. It's not easy being strong, but you're an inspiration to so many, including me. She definitely is. She definitely has, and I'm pretty sure her words, her words of encouragement, sharing her story has inspired, a lot of people that are dealing with imposter syndrome, dealing with their mental health. That I hope listening to her message, which is a very powerful one, I might add as well, has inspired inspired us, some of you guys. So such an interesting topic. I'm in New Zealand, so it's Tuesday at 1 p.m. Oh wow, time zones, am I right? It's all good, Dark. All good, all good. All right, guys. Like I said, gotta love the time zones. Agreed, agreed. So, like I said, this is an open forum. So, if anybody wants to share their stories, share or just say something really quick. If you want to hop in my voice chat, you can hop in my Discord right here. Again, I don't want to don't want to unintentionally pressure you guys to join or anything. So if you don't want to join the voice chat, that is fine. You can express it in the chat if need be, if you guys want. Or if you're just going to chill and vibe here today, that's perfectly fine as well. But you guys need the link to my Discord. There is the link right there. If you are joining, you will be. I'll put you if you're in the waiting room, or let me know in the chat, and either me or one of my mods will pull you in. And to my mods or VIPs, they can just join the Chillin Out channel if they want to chime in. Just know that you will be muted. There is going to be a queue, and you will be it will be in order of whoever it will be an order of whoever wants to join. Speaking of which, I do have a queue for that. You can do exclamation mark join if you guys want to join in the voice chat. It looks like I don't have anybody. Okay, this I don't have anybody in the voice chat right now. So there we go. All right, so I guess I can show you guys, kind of sort of more of my story. So like I said, with Will, I've pretty much been in pretty much a similar situations as her. Although I haven't been in a although I haven't been married, or nor do I have kids or anything and stuff like that. Why is my phone's thing going off? Sorry. And in my case, my imposter syndrome has kind of kind of like in a way stopped me from going out and talking to girls, trying to start a relationship. It kind of because I'm afraid, with the way I've been raised, with the way my family has raised me, that they're so and everything, that if I bring someone home, like I'm afraid, like if I want to bring a potential wife, home with me, that, you know, they wouldn't approve, and that you know, basically wouldn't they basically, you know, kind of sort of would like drive a wedge between me and someone that I and the girl that I love, you know. So, and which is why I've been like I've been kind of sort of scared to, I guess I don't want to say scared, but like, which is why I think my social anxiety has been a part of that, and I think that's, you know, I feel kind of like that's why I haven't really been invested in having a relationship of some kind, and it's because of my and I feel like it's because I think my anxiety to commit to someone for the like to another woman, I think it kind of stems from my imposter syndrome, like, you know, where I kind of sort of feel like, you know, don't I don't deserve I don't deserve to be loved, you know, romantic. I don't deserve to have romantic love. You know, not saying, again, not saying, not being like asexual or none of that, but uh sorry, give me a moment. Um and you know, it hurt. It hurts, you know. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to be all like, you know, sentimental and everything. It's just, you know, whenever I think about these kind of things, it really hurts me inside. You know, to it really kind of sort of hurts me inside. You know, but I know there is someone out there for me. But I feel like, you know, my imposter syndrome, I think, is holding me back, and so I totally understand. And so, you know, this is why, you know, this is kind of sort of, you know, why I tend to be this is why I was sort of, I kind of tend to do, you know, a lot of small talk. You know, I'm not too engaging, you know, with my conversations and everything, because, you know, if I'm talking to, if I want to talk to someone, you know, I don't want to, number one, I don't want to like disappoint my family, and number two, you know, I don't want to, you know, have our bonds of, you know, I don't want to have our bonds, you know, ruined just because, you know, my family thinks this of someone, and but I think the other way, you know. And, you know, I don't want there to be like an unintentional conflict. In other words, you know, because I'm gonna be very honest, you know, deep down inside, like I don't think I'm not built to handle, you know, conflict. Per person, like whenever, you know, whenever I'm in a circle and there's people that I love and they're conflicting, you know, having a conflict with one another, I'm gonna be honest with you, I break down. Like, it feels like, you know, I'm kind of I'm stuck in the middle, and it's like I'm almost forced to pick, you know, and that kind of adds to my anxiety. So, um, which is also why in my 37, also another thing is, you know, in my 37 years that I've lived, I've only had one girlfriend. In my, like I said, in my 37 years that I've lived on this planet, and don't get me wrong, you know, it was it was a wonderful experience. You know, we did love each other, and you know, everything was all good and everything. It's just that, you know, my if I'm being honest, my family didn't approve of they didn't approve of the relationship, and then that's kind of what led us to split apart. And ever since that, and ever since then, I've never kind of bothered. I never kind of bothered myself to look for another, look for another relationship. But talking with after talking with talking with you guys, talking with some of my in real life friends, who I text like daily. This has kind of like changed my outlook a lot actually. So, you know, but yeah, guys. So I didn't want to like kind of bring that on a downer there, but I just wanted to be open with you guys, which is what this stream is all about. So, but that's not true. Weo says you deserve someone that'll give you the same energy that you give them. Yeah, I totally I agree. 100%. I'm not trying to like throw like a pity party or stuff like that. I'm just just being open and real with you guys. I don't think your family would do that. In my opinion, I feel your family will support you no matter what, unless it's harmful to you. Yeah, totally. Don't get me wrong. I love my family. I love my mom, my dad, my brother, everybody. It's just there are times where they may see some signs with the girl with the woman you're with that that might set them, that might trigger some red flags and everything, and that's totally understandable. That's totally understandable. But I mean, if I really love this and I want to be with them for the one, I really feel like I can see myself and her for the rest of the life. I mean, I'm gonna go head on into it. So, and it hurts. When you don't have the support of your family with some of the decisions you make. So, but I mean, I'm gonna be honest, it hurts when you don't have like your family back, kind of sort of supporting some of your decisions and everything. It's when it comes to who you love and stuff like that. So it's all right. These are sensitive topics. It's okay to show emotion, right? Honestly, sometimes there's just conflict just because families want to live a life they didn't have. But you have just decided that if you want to listen to them or make your own choice but you have to just decide if you want to listen to them or make your own choice about who you want to love. Exactly. We are 100%. Well said. You're not bringing us down. Don't worry. Appreciate it, Butterfly. Appreciate it. You're all good, brother. This is a side of life people don't want to talk about, but it needs to be talked about. Yeah, and this is why I'm doing this. So people can talk about, so that people can be open, be talking, and just to let people feel comfortable and let people understand that everything they're feeling and they're talking about, it's perfectly fine. These are perfectly valid feelings. I mean, it's okay. It's okay to have these feelings, and it's okay to be open and sharing about it. And because like I said, we are all human beings. We are flawed. We are all vulnerable. Despite the fact that we show our desire, our confidence, and everything, we are still vulnerable. We all have our flaws. We're not super. I mean, we're not. Or I don't want to say we're not Superman, because Superman has kryptonite as weakness and as kryptonite. But we're not we're not like Marvel superheroes or super and that kind of thing. I mean, we all have our weaknesses. It's just I'm gonna borrow. Excuse me. Let me get some water real quick. Just scratch my throat a bit. If I may borrow a line from of all places a video game, is you can't your true strength doesn't come from true strength doesn't just come from strength from physical and mental strength alone. The strength to acknowledge your crimes, or the strength to acknowledge your faults, you have to have that as well. And I think really that's what makes someone that's characterizes true strength is not just acknowledging your strengths, but acknowledging your faults as well, acknowledging your flaws as well. I mean, that's one thing I struggle with all the time, including the fact that I'm flawed and I don't need to be perfect. Yeah, I totally feel you on that, butterfly. And it's with whenever I set my sights on some, whenever I have my set my sights on an objective or a goal or something, you know, I'm always, I'm always, thinking, okay, I want to get to this goal, but this weakness in me is stopping me from putting my best into reaching that goal. If you know what I'm saying. But but like I said, there are just some things, that some humans can do that some other humans cannot. There are some things, a lot of people that can do that I cannot. You know what I'm saying? And and I think, if you comparing yourself to other people, the temptation is there. But I kind of, I think, once you sit down and evaluate and realize that, you're perfectly fine, the way you are, because the way you were brought into this world. I mean, this is basically what you were meant to be. This is what you are. This is how you were born, how you were raised. This is what you are. So someone's in the waiting room. Okay. Oh, Mr. Bubbles. So we got Mr. Bubbles in here. So let me go ahead and bring him in here. There we go. Mic check. 1, 2. Mr. Bubbles. Mr. Bubbles, can you hear me? Bubbles, you are now in the chilling out.
Yo, what's up, dude?
Hey, what's up, Mr. Bubbles? How you doing?
I'm doing good, brother. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic, man. That's what's up.
Hey, man, I love this. I love what you're doing, man. I'm a huge advocate for mental health, and this is something I've thought about doing for a long time myself, but it's just been kind of nerve-wracking trying to do it. So I definitely mad respect for what you're doing.
Thank you. Appreciate it. So, Mr. Bubbles, the floor is yours.
All right. As far as imposter syndrome, there's been lots of different times where I felt it. Like Weo, I also was in the military for 7 years, and I felt a lot of imposter syndrome whenever going into it. My uncle, who I respected above many others, he did 20 years in the Marines and retired. He had an amazing career, lots of awards and medals to show for it. And so just going into it, like knowing like, all right, well, I have to prove that I'm worthy of it. And it's like, well, why am I worthy if everything he's done? So going into it, I was kind of nervous. And then climbing up through the ranks, I made it to the NCO, the sergeant category, and then just feeling that imposter syndrome, like, why do I deserve this? I've only been in for, I was a what they call a fast burner, so I made it to the sergeant rank within 3 years, and I was like, why me? Like, what have I done? I I don't deserve to lead people. But then going through the steps and getting my own troops and leading shifts and stuff like that, it helped me to show that, like, okay, I'm able to do this. But it was a lot of back and forth. There were a lot of bad days where it was like Murphy's Law, where anything that could go wrong went wrong. And then, of course, when anything goes wrong when you're leading a shift, it falls on your shoulders.
Right.
And so it would eat at me because I'm an overthinker. I'm an analyzer. And so I would stay up. I worked night shift at that point, so I stayed up all morning thinking about how I should have done this or I should have done that. And I was lucky enough that I had some really good supervisors at that point who would pull me aside. They saw that I was struggling, and they'd be like, hey, listen, this kind of stuff happens. We expect you to make mistakes. It's how you learn from it. But I mean, it doesn't change the fact, like, I mean, people can say that to you, but in your own mind, you're already just in that headspace where you're down on yourself. And unfortunately, I didn't take advantage of the mental health opportunities that we have in the military. I did what most military people do. I went to a dark steep of heavy drinking. Luckily, I was able to bring myself out of it, but I went through that path, and it was rough for a while. And then I also went through a marriage and a divorce, not far after. So that was just another thing to kind of add to it, like, okay, I'm not good enough to be a husband. And then I kind of got through that with a bunch of my friends kind of helping me out along the way. One of my best friends and his wife kind of took me in after all that and kind of showed me the love that I needed, and the kind of the tough love as well. Like, hey, this is where you fucked up, man. Like, or sorry. I'm trying to keep my language clean as well, but
oh, man. Hey,
like,
man. Yo, go ahead and express yourself however you want, man. This is an open form. Like, this is every let it all out, man. Let it all hang.
all right. Well, I will try and keep my language a little clean, but sometimes whenever you're talking about this stuff, it just kind of comes out.
Right. Exactly.
But they kind of like set me back on the straight and narrow per se. And then a year and some change ago, I got out of the military, moved back home due to some family problems with my mom. She has a degenerative brain disease, so I wanted to make sure. I was on the other side of the country. I was on the West Coast in the military. My family's on the East Coast and the South. And it was hard. It was hard. My brother was taking the brunt of all of that, and it just didn't sit right with me. So I got out of the military and I came home. And I mean, it just all hit me at once because I wasn't able to see it day in and day out. I got to see my mom 1 week a year. Yeah, 1 week a year. 1 week every year and a half. So I didn't really get to see the changes. I didn't get to see the damage that was being done to her. And so that hit me really hard. And since I've been home, it's been kind of tougher. She's been getting worse, but I've taken over a lot of the responsibilities with her, and it's been a lot on my belt. And as if transitioning from the military to civilian life wasn't enough, I had that transitioning from the military to the civilian life, it's tough because you're leaving all of your friends you have made, and you're going back home to people that, yeah, they're your friends. Some of them are your best friends, but you haven't really been friends with them for however long. For me, it was 7 years. And so it was a matter of trying to find my place again in the civilian world. Um, and luckily, I had one of my best friends. He was in the Navy and he got out and he helped me get a job back home. And he's he's a lot with transitioning back to what the civilian life is like. So I'm very grateful for that, but it's also been extremely hard. It's like, because I am a veteran, but I never really had a deployment where I went anywhere. I went on a lot of trips. I did go over to the Middle East, but I was never there more for a day or two. And so it's one of those things as a veteran, it's like, okay, yeah, you were in the military, but I mean, you didn't do a real deployment, you didn't see anything. And so that's kind of the imposter syndrome I've been facing here lately, especially with recent events, having friends who have been deployed, and now I'm the one here as a civilian praying for their safety, hoping that everything goes okay. And I mean, it's been tough. And I haven't taken advantage of the mental health. It's been one of those things where I've been scared to, um, just because as an over analyzer, overthinker, I can already like tell I know what's wrong with me. I'm just scared to hear it being told to me. I'm scared for someone to tell me like, "Oh, you are actually mildly or deeply depressed, and we need to go through these options." And so it's been tough, but with like Weo said, she has been a rock for me as much as I have for her. I know I can go to her for anything, and we'll either text back and forth for most of the afternoon, or we'll just hop on a phone call and talk about what's going on, and we'll just kind of tag team. Like, all right, I'm going to talk about my stuff for a minute. All right, cool. Now it's your turn. So it's been really great having Weo as a friend, and she does keep me on my toes in my stream. Not gonna lie about that. Not gonna lie. And that's a warm welcome. It's nice to be able to, when you're in those kind of dark places or you're not feeling so great, to kind of have that random joke to make you feel better. And she's been great about that. Streaming has been an amazing outlet for me. I started streaming 3-ish years ago. I didn't take it super serious at first, but then back in 2020 is whenever I started kind of taking it serious and started gaining followers and stuff like that. And then people coming in and saying like, thank you. And it's like, I don't feel like I'm doing anything. I'm being me. I'm being a sincere person, just showing appreciation to those that are showing me attention, that are taking time out of their day to watch me poorly play video games. But so that's just been another part of the imposter syndrome, is like, is feeling like I don't deserve all the love that comes from my community, even though I know like I may make a difference in even one person's life, and that's okay with me, but as long as it's just one. But at the same point in time, it's hard to accept that people are on the same wavelength as me and do accept me for who I am whenever I'm being my weird self. Um,
Well, Mr. Bubbles, I just want to say, I've been in your streams a few times, and to me, man, you're probably one of the realest, most entertaining streamers that I've come across. So let me be the first. I've no one told you. Let me be the first to tell you that. And second of all, second of all, you everything that has come your way. I mean, as far oh, he lost power. Oh man. All right, so Mr. Bubbles, unfortunately lost his power, but if he's still able to watch this, I just want to let him know, and I can speak on behalf of Wio and everybody here that you really have made a difference in a lot of people's lives, even myself included. And the vibes I get from being in your streams and everything, you, you're always such a positive person, good vibes and everything. So we really appreciate really appreciate you being a part of the community, and also appreciate you being here, opening yourself up to being vulnerable. And again, sorry that your power went out. But we again, thank you for sharing your story and appreciate you being here. Um, Let me catch up with the chat here real quick, see if I missed anything. By the way, inevitably dope. What's up, my man? Happy Monday to you. Welcome. But you've been doing such a great job with the transition and taking care of your mother. Yeah, and exactly, being there for your mother, being there for your mother and everything. That is like invaluable. So I mean, Bubbles, I'm real happy for you, man. I really that's something that's incredible, And I will always say, be take be with your parents, be with your family as much as you can, because you may never there will come a time where they won't be around. So please cherish the time you have with your family members. Yeah, I feel you, Bubbles. You make a difference in everyone's life. I 100% agree. And you have to accept the goodness that comes back to you because of the last you give us. Facts. Facts. Sylv says, you've really made a huge impact in my life, that's for sure. Thank you, Sylv. Thank you, thank you. Be hide under the couch. Busted Bubbles again. It's all good, my friend. I hope stay safe out there with the storms and everything. Be safe and be sure you have electrical fires in your outlets. I'm watching. Thanks for letting me share. I appreciate the kind of love. Mad love to you. And Mr. Bubbles, mad love to you too, my friend. Yo, One at Maze, what's good, man? Yeah, I am doing well, my friend. I am doing well. So let's see. Is anybody else in the waiting room? I want to make sure I don't miss anybody here. No. Alrighty, guys. I think if nobody else is in the waiting room, I think I will go ahead and wrap up the stream here. But I want to give again mad love to everybody that came through. Also, especially mad love to Mr. Bubbles and Wheel Wonders for sharing their stories with the imposters and everything. And again, I want to thank you guys for the love and support. And this was a a great thing to, to do that I'm able to have an open forum like this. So expect more of these things in the future. Maybe it'll probably, maybe something a bit more lighthearted, or or other topics dealing with mental health or various issues going on. So I will definitely be doing some more of these in the future. But in the meantime, we're gonna go it, and unfortunately, with me having to go to work and everything, I'm sorry to have to cut this short. So thank you for this. It was a great listen. Gemini's horror, hello, and I appreciate it. Appreciate the compliment. And yes, agreed. Thank you, Mr. Bubbles, and thank you again, We Are Wonders, for sharing your story. Gonna be streaming in 5 minutes. Got you, Weo. I got you. That way people can get some laughs in. Totally got you. Well, guys, we are going to send the love over to a good friend of mine who just got back into streaming last week, and she is streaming some Genshin Impact now. So we're gonna raid Earthbound Rena. So y'all do me a favor here. Copy that raid message. Raid message. There we go. Copy that raid message as we go show the love over to Miss Earthbound Rena. Hope you have an amazing day at work. Thank you, Butterfly, and I hope the same for you as well, and your school and everything. Bound Rena. Alrighty, guys. You guys all have a wonderful rest of y'all's Monday, rest of y'all's week. Remember, get your rest, and remember, each day is another day to prove yourself to the world. So, go prove yourselves. Just remember, you guys are awesome. Your feelings are validated, and you are loved, most especially. So, in the meantime, go enjoy some lighthearted.